Hey, all, it's a smart retiree. Welcome back to the channel. Well, there's a strange moment after retirement where the party is over, the calendar's empty, and for the first time in decades, nobody is checking in on you every day. Many people feel a quiet loneliness they didn't expect, not because they lost their old friends, but because the thing that built friendships for them without even trying just switched off. This isn't a story about loss. It's a story about learning something new. Retirement can actually teach you how to make friends all over again, the same simple way you did as a kid. And for most of our adult lives, friendships happen quietly in the background. Nobody has to think much about it because work and daily routines handle the hard part without any effort at all. But then retirement arrives and that quiet system disappears almost overnight. Nobody warns you about the hard part. Most people expect to miss a paycheck. Very few expect to miss the small, ordinary chats by the coffee machine or the water cooler just as much. But the good news is this skill isn't lost forever. It's just been dormant for a long time, waiting to be used again. So let's look at our 7 points for this video. Number one, why it feels so much harder now. Well, as kids, making friends felt automatic. Sit next to someone, play at recess, done. Kids don't overthink it. Adults do. By adulthood, we carry years of caution, self-doubt, and old roles like co-worker, boss, or parent. When those roles disappear, it can be hard to remember who we are without them. Adult friendships also need something childhood doesn't provide, and that's real intention. That choice can feel surprisingly vulnerable. Kids also don't worry much about wasting someone's time by asking to hang out. Adults often do, which quietly adds one more barrier that childhood friendships never had to deal with. Point number two, the friendship machines we left behind. And for decades, school and work quietly did the work of building friendships for us. Those places gave us two key ingredients without even trying: being near the same people and seeing them again and again. No planning needed. You just bumped into people in the hallway or the break room. The more we see someone regularly, the more we tend to like them. That's simply how people work. Retirement removes that whole system overnight. Suddenly seeing someone takes real effort, but also planning. It's a bit like a plant that's been watered automatically for 40 years, suddenly needing someone to remember the watering can. The plant didn't do anything wrong. The system just changed. Third point I want to make, common mistakes that keep us lonely. So waiting to be invited, that's a problem that I had for a long, long time. For years, invitations often came through work or family. In retirement, you often have to be the one who starts things. Confusing quiet time with isolation. Rest is good, but too much alone time can make it harder to reconnect later. And believing you have nothing to offer. So friendship isn't about being impressive. It's about being present, willing to listen, and showing up. And a fourth quiet mistake is assuming it's too late to start. Plenty of lasting friendships begin well into someone's 60s, 70s, and beyond, and there's no real deadline on this. Fourth point is why being nearby matters more than shared interests. So many people think the secret to new friends is finding others with the exact same hobby. But research on friendship consistently points to two simple things mattering the most: being physically close to someone and seeing them often. People often are more likely to befriend a neighbor than someone they only share an interest with once in a while. Small, repeated moments, seeing the same face at the same place, that builds real trust over time. A single event, even a fun one, rarely creates a lasting bond on its own. Friendship needs to simmer slowly. So this is actually good news. It means you don't need to find the perfect hobby matched friend. You just need somewhere to show up on a regular basis. Point number five, the discomfort of putting yourself out there. This is real. Walking into a room of strangers and starting a conversation can feel genuinely scary. That fear makes sense. It means opening yourself up to an awkward moment or simply not with someone. This discomfort doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It just means you're human. The goal isn't to feel zero fear. It's simply to say hello anyway, even with a little nervousness. Every real friendship usually starts with one small, slightly uncomfortable risk. And most people, if asked honestly, admit they felt just as nervous walking into the same room. The discomfort is really one-sided, even if it feels that way in the moment. Number 6, small practical steps that actually work, and I hope you can make note of these. Become a regular. Pick one coffee shop. Go around the same time each week and say hello to the same faces. Choose activities with a schedule. A weekly class or a regular volunteership builds far more connection than a single one-time event. You can start with people already around you, a neighbor, a regular dog walker at the park, someone you already see occasionally. The goal is turning a casual, familiar face into a real connection slowly over time. None of this requires being naturally outgoing. It just requires consistency and a little bit of nerve. Small talk often feels pointless in the moment, but it's really wasted. It's simply the slow groundwork that real friendship gets built on top of. And my final point for this video, what genuine connection can look like now. So making friends later in life can feel a little clumsy at first, like speaking a language you haven't used in years. But the basic skill comes back with practice. Connection at this stage often looks different than it did before. Fewer big parties, more small, honest relationships. It's less about what you do together and more about how you feel together, heard and understood. So retirement closes one kind of social life, but it also opens the time and freedom to build a new one on purpose. And in some ways, these later friendships can end up feeling more genuine than the ones built purely out of convenience through work, since nobody is required to be there. Everyone showed up by choice. And just in closing, retirement takes away a system that built friendships for us automatically for decades without us even noticing it was there. It's a quiet kind of loss, and one that really gets talked about compared to money or health. But it also hands back something valuable, the time and freedom to build real connection on purpose, one step at a time, becoming a regular somewhere, saying hello first, even when it feels a little awkward, showing up again the next week and the week after that, even before it feels uncomfortable. None of this needs to happen all at once. Friendship rarely does at any age. It builds slowly through small repeated moments that don't look much like or look much on their own, but add up over time into something real. The skill you had as a child never actually disappeared. It's simply been waiting for a reason to come back. So what's one small step you could take this week to build a new connection? Let me know in the comments. And I read all the comments. I respond to all of them. And I'll take a drink in just a minute. But before then, hope to see your comment, and also hope to catch you in the next video here on The Smart Retiree. Bye for now.